is John Colo at DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. In this episode, what I'll be doing is comparing two Kuvings juicers. I'll be comparing the home model, the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer Elite Model C7000, with the just released Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer Chef Model CS600. Now, probably the first thing you'll realize between these two machines, the main difference is that the price, right? This guy is literally about 3 times or more than 3 times more the price of this guy. The main reason for that is because this is a home model. It has a 30-minute duty cycle, which means you could run the juicer for 30 minutes, juice as much as you can, and then you should be letting the machine rest 15, 30 minutes, have it turned off so it could cool down, and then you could start using it again for 30 minutes at a time. That being said, over on this side, this is a commercial grade machine, and this has a 24-hour duty cycle on the motor there. So you could run this motor literally 24 hours straight. I don't know any juice bars that are open 24 hours straight, but it'd be amazing if they did have one and that they use this machine. And so the price is different. This is commercial, this is household. There's a lot of other differences, and what I hope to do in this episode is actually go over each difference part by part, what's included with the machines, some of the performance differences, as well as at the end of this episode we're actually going to do a juice off comparison so you guys could learn which of these machines will make more juice. And you know, they're pretty similar, so I don't really know, but we'll definitely see. So I guess the first thing I'd like to do is actually talk about what the juicer comes with. That's very important, right? Each of these machines come with some parts that are the same and also different. So let's go over those first right now. Of course, the first thing is that both these machines come with an instruction booklet. And the instruction booklets are pretty similar. They're both the standard Kuvings instruction booklet, Whole Slow Juicer Chef Manual, and the Whole Slow Juicer Elite Manual. So the Elite Manual is in actually English and French, and the Chef Manual, as it comes in the US anyways, is just going to be the English for you guys. The other thing that I like about the Kuvings machine, unlike any other vertical slow juicer on the market, is actually they come with nice recipe books. So this is the recipe book for the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer Elite model. And let's see, this guy is about 103 pages or so. I think there's only over 75 recipes in there. And then over on the Chef model, you actually have a really nice stand-up recipe book that'll actually stand up on your counter. You could flip that over, and then you could actually flip to these guys. So definitely a lot higher quality than this paper-bound book here. And this guy is actually, let's take a look at it. It's classified into sections. I do believe this actually has more recipes. I mean, just straight off, it's like a total of 118 pages, 119 pages of recipes. So probably maybe close to like 100 recipes in this book, I'm guesstimating, because basically every page that you flip on is a different recipe, and you could go, you know, a recipe on the front and a recipe on the back. So this will give you even more options for recipes to make. That being said, you know, recipe books, they're definitely kind of cool, especially if you're new and getting into juicing. But, you know, that wouldn't necessarily sway me to buy the Chef. It is, a matter of fact, you know, about 3 times the price. All right? So aside from that, let's talk about something else that's very important that would sway me. And that is the warranty that comes with machines, right? So the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer Elite comes with a full 10-year warranty, and this is a home juicer, so there's no commercial warranty. Using this machine commercially will void the warranty. Over on this side, this machine, the Chef model, the CS600, has a 1-year warranty for everybody, whether you're using it in your home or a commercial juice bar establishment. It has a 1-year warranty. So that's a big difference in warranty. So if you're a home user, you know, it may not behoove you to get this machine because you're going to lose out 9 years on the warranty. That being said, Kuvings is making juicers and many other products for many years now, and I'm quite confident, used properly, this machine will last for much longer and not fail for much longer than just simply 1 year. I mean, after all, they back up this machine with a 10-year warranty. But Kuvings knows that commercial users use the machines hard and heavy, and they don't want to cause, they don't want to cover under warranty any kind of damage. That being said, this motor here is really what separates these two guys, as you guys will see in a minute. Some other main differences, you guys can see this unit is a lot taller. This is a little bit shorter. This unit will fit under your standard 16-inch cabinets, if they're 16 inches above your countertop, and it'll slide back right in there. This guy is a bit too tall, and it will not. This guy has a 3.5-inch wide feed chute that will be going over, so it makes feeding larger produce items a little bit easier. And literally, for the most part, you could drop things into this machine, it'll suck it on in, whereas on this machine, many things you could drop in, but some things, you will need to use the pusher because there's a little, safety guard here inside the feed chute that you have to push things like large diameter apples past. And we'll go over that just in a little bit. But yeah, the height, and then the colors, of course. This guy comes in only one color. It's actually stainless steel lined base, and it's all black otherwise. This one you have a choice of colors, so you could get it in silver, white, or actually in the red color, for those of you guys that are into red. Let's see, so other things that these machines come with, probably the biggest difference is that this machine is almost like getting two juicers in one, because not only do you get one whole complete juicer with the motor base and a top set, you actually get a second full top set, right here. And that comes actually with the machine, for one low price. And that's because, it's recommended that you need to switch out the top set after juicing for 20 minutes straight, or after juicing 2 quarts of juice, or when you're changing out recipes. If you have a juice bar, that's pretty much you will be changing out top sets, because one of the challenges that can happen with both these machines is that they can jam up and clog. So if you are interested in getting the CS600, please check my link down below to the video I made specifically with the CS600 showing my practices and how you should be using this machine so that you get the best results every single time. It's also important if you're changing out recipes, to use a different top set. So that's why they give you a second one. If you have a large family, the mom could juice with this top set and the dad could juice with this one, so that nobody's commingling the juice recipes, and if one person jams it, it's not the other person's fault. And then each person has their own, attachment to clean. And so that could really save you guys some time when juicing. So I do like that it actually comes with an extra top set. This is actually, if you have to buy these parts separately, it'd actually be quite expensive. And don't worry, I checked the top sets, and the majority of the parts between these two machines are not interchangeable, so don't do it. Order only the right part for your juicer, alright? So aside from the extra top set, the things that are different are, number one, the pusher. So with the CS600 you get a nice long pusher, and that's because the hole that's not the big juice flap here that actually flops up is actually a smaller hole. So I kind of like this pusher a little bit better. It looks a little bit nicer. Goes right in the back there. And with the C7000, it's a short and kind of like more fat 3-inch diameter round pusher that will basically slide in the top. Now the other things that the machines come with, of course, they both come with collection cups. So this one is marked up to 48 ounces or 1,400 milliliters. I'm highly confident you could probably fill it, crank it up to the top to maybe a little bit more than that, but then you got the spout coming up in the way, and then you actually have a nice oversized pulp catch container here. Going over to the C7000, these pulp containers are definitely smaller. This guy will hold, it's marked up to 1,000 milliliters on the juice catch cup, and the pulp catch is not marked, but it's consistently about the same size difference to hold more pulp. And then also with the C7000, you also get Sieve. So the Sieve is designed to fit right on top of the collection cup that is collecting your juice, so you could actually strain it out as it's juicing. That being said, that is not always the best idea in my opinion, because this guy can get clogged up really fast, so you have to keep an eye on this and shake it down a little bit, and sometimes you have to empty this if there's a lot of built up pulp. And what I like to do is I like to just tap it and empty it back into the machine and continue to feed and juice other things at the same time if it does get full. The other thing that's really nice about this model, is the C7000 also includes a funnel here. So this allows you to easily direct food in to the feed chute, whereas this model, while it does have a 3.5-inch wide feed chute, you know, there is no funnel, so you could miss the hole. So I do like the funnel personally. The other thing that the C7000 comes with that is not included with the chef model is this guy, and this is known as the blank attachment or sorbet attachment. This attachment allows you to make frozen fruit sorbets. So you want to just take some ripe bananas, peel them, freeze them. They get into a nice hard freeze. You take them out, let them thaw a little bit, and then you basically put it through the machine with this attachment in place, so you could make a frozen fruit sorbets, affectionately known as banana ice cream, because it's so creamy, even though you're not adding any cream, no dairy, no monodiglycerides or any kind of artificial flavors or colors or even sugars. It's just 100% bananas, and it's one of the best things you guys could do if you guys are still addicted to ice cream. Just have 100% frozen fruit. It's multitudes healthier than processed ice cream. So yeah, this guy is included with the C7000, and if you want to get it on the CS600, you have to buy that additional. It's not included. Now, I do want to say that with both these machines, what's not included is this attachment right here. This is known as the Smoothie Attachment. So the Smoothie Attachment basically allows you to make low RPM smoothies in the juicer. And at this point, when you use this guy, everything gets ground up. It comes out these larger holes, comes out the juice spout, and nothing will flow out of the pulp spout. And it's very important when using this attachment to have a proper recipe so that this will work properly. If your your recipe's too dry, it's not going to work. I mean, this is a smoothie attachment for making smoothies. Check the link down below. I made a video with the C7000 making a smoothie and a sorbet, and I'll show you guys how amazing it works. And actually, this guy does quite a good job to make a nice texture when I used it. So that is additional on both machines, and the price I think is equivalent. So you know, whether you're getting the attachment for one or the other, the price is the same. And I do encourage you guys to buy the attachments when you buy the juicers. They're a little bit less at discountjuicers.com. The next thing I want to say is that if you guys enjoy my comparison videos, right, please support me in my work. And the way you guys can do that is make your purchase at discountjuicers.com. That way I get the credit, you know, and I can stay in business and I can continue to make these videos. Big box stores and other people, they're not making videos comparing two juicers. So you could see side by side and get a test and a demonstration of which one is better. I mean, setting up for one of these videos takes some time. Preparing the produce, filming the video, editing the video, uploading, titling the video. All this takes me enormous amounts of time, and I do it for you guys to be in service for you guys. So hopefully I've helped you guys out a little bit, and so you guys could get the right juicer for you. And hopefully you'd reward me by saying, hey, you know that guy John, he helped me out. I want to buy it from him. You know, we have a price match policy at Discount Juicers, so don't feel you could save $10 somewhere else. If it's another authorized retailer, we'll be glad to match their price. So you get the same exact price, plus you got the discountjuicers.com service behind you, right? This is something you're not going to get anywhere else. If you buy your juicer from a big box store, they don't care about you. I care about you. My life was changed by juicing. It was saved by juicing. It allowed me to get healthier, allowed me to make other dietary changes that were necessary based on my health condition that I had, that I'm long since gone. And so I know what it is. So, you know, and I use these juicers. Like big box stores, they have salespeople, they don't use these juicers. I use these juicers like every day. I juice every day when I'm home generally. And I've tried to juice lots of different things in the machine, so I know what works, what doesn't, and more importantly, I know tips and techniques that I'll share with you guys, so you guys can get the best results in your juicers, and you know, when you're juicing. Also, I show tips and tricks on how to get more juice out of your pulp. You know, I have over 400 videos on this channel dedicated to helping you guys juice, and more importantly, should you have any challenges getting your warranty claims met through the manufacturer, whatever manufacturer it is. Provided we sold you the juicer, I'm here to step in to be your liaison. If they're not taking care of you, all you gotta do is say, hey John, I called Kuvings, they're not taking care of me, this is what's going on, and I'll make sure the manufacturer, whether it's Kuvings, Omega, Trivest, whomever, that you get taken care of, because it is important to me. And there's not gonna be a person at a big box store that's gonna literally go to bat for you and help you out if there should be challenges. And I could say to this point, all my customers that have had warranty issues from any of the manufacturers, provided they are legitimate warranty issues, have all gotten resolved, right? So yeah, I want to thank you guys for those of you guys that will purchase from me, and I want in advance, and I want to thank you guys for those of you guys that have purchased from me in the past. It is definitely appreciated and literally allows me to put food on my table and continue to make these educational videos for you guys that I enjoy and love so much, because I want the truth to be told, and that's what I literally show in my videos. Anyways, continuing on here, both machines come with the same exact cleaning tools, and unlike other brands, Kuvings provides you with 3 different cleaning tools. They provide you with the standard oversized toothbrush here. They provide you with a bottle brush, which is good for the different orifices in the juicer, such as the juice spout and the pulp spout. And it provides you this guy, which is a screen cleaning tool that'll work on the standard screen inside the machine, or even the smoothie screen. You basically put it around and you just spin this around, and it actually helps you clean the screen. And then you're going to take this guy and clean the inside of the screen to get it all clean. The most important part to clean on any juicer is the screen. You want to try to clean it right after you're done to dislodge all the pulp out of the holes, because if pulp gets stuck in holes, about the only way I've found to really get it out if it's stuck is get like a needle and poke it out, and that's really not fun. So you could save yourself a lot of time, effort by cleaning your screen right after you're done, and Kuvings makes it really simple. So yeah, all the cleaning tools are exact same, whether it's the CS600 or the C7000, including the screen cleaning tool. So that's quite interesting. But yeah, I think those are pretty much, I think, all the parts that are included. They're both fairly similar, but yet a little bit different. I mean, personally, I think, you know, you get a few extra cool accessories, such as that sorbet screen. You get the strainer, which, I mean, you could buy separately. You got a funnel, you know, with the C7000. So I think in that case, the C7000 wins for the extra added accessories, because, you know, if you want the smoothie or the sorbet screen with the CS600, you're going to have to buy it separately. All right. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for now. What I want to do is get some of this stuff cleared off, and I want to go over actually each of these machines part by part so you can see the similarities, but more importantly, the differences. So now what I want to do for you guys is actually take these juicers apart part by part and show you guys and compare and contrast the differences between all the different parts, so you guys fully know and are fully aware of the differences, to know if you guys should maybe get the home machine or the commercial one. So the first thing is we're going to start with the main juice feed chute. So we're going to go ahead and take these guys off here. And as you guys can see, actually they're amazingly about the same height. But the main difference is this is a 3-inch round feed chute. And this guy, if we open up this little flap here, goes open. And this is the diameter here is 3.5 inches. So this could take larger apples than this guy. So if you're shopping for apples, you know, you got to make sure you get the 2.5-inch diameter ones if you guys got this guy, and if you got this guy, you can get the larger ones. In addition, this guy has a little hole in the back, which is about the size of a standard vertical single auger juicer. So I do encourage you guys to use this flap chute, a little bit easier to get things into. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, this guy actually has a funnel to help direct food in. Now, the cool thing about this guy is that once you put the food in, it basically just drops in. Inside here, there's no safety mechanism that has to catch. You have to push things past. Now, that's not true with the C7000. On the C7000, I don't know if you guys could see that, but right here, there's like a little, it's almost like a knife blade, but it's not really sharp. It's just a piece of plastic, so you can't stick your finger in there and get it past there, so your finger won't come in contact with the blade. So this guy will stop up apples, as you'll see when I'm juicing them in a little bit. And you'll have to take the pusher to push it past to cut a slice of the apple before it actually goes into the machine. So yeah, and then let's see, on the bottom of this guy, you know, let's take a look at how they look here. This guy has a lot of ribbing. So this guy has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kind of ribbing that helps kind of like hold things in place and help to start the grinding process. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then over on this guy only has 1, 2, 3, 4 ribbings. So it looks like this has kind of been upgraded, got a little bit more ribbing to kind of get in there to help direct produce and get it to where it needs to be. So yeah, that's these two top parts. I don't think there's anything major difference with them. Oh, let's take a look at the locking mechanisms here. So on this guy, there's 1, 2, 3 main locking mechanisms, and on the Chef, actually, there's 4 locking mechanisms. So that means that this guy will be a little bit more stable once it's fully assembled. Now, both these machines have built-in magnets, which is a safety system. So, you know, both these machines will not turn on unless they are properly assembled. So if you get your machine and you assemble it and you turn it on, nothing happens, disassemble the machine and assemble it step by step that I'll be showing you guys in a minute, and then it should be working for you. Alright, next part are the augers. So let's go ahead and pull out these augers. And these augers look amazingly similar. Check it out. Are these two identical augers? Is the only difference between the CS600 and the C7000 the base? And are these augers interchangeable? Well, let's set these down here side by side. So if you look closely on there, you'll see that this is a little baby auger. The C7000 auger is smaller than the CS600 auger, which is a little bit larger. The CS600 auger looks to be a bit more improved from what I would say over the C7000 auger. It's a little more taller, a little bit more heavy duty. Looks like it has a nicer rake on it to help direct things in a little bit more efficiently. We could get a micrometer right here. I got my micrometer. And then we could actually just check out. Let's see if my micrometer is that tall, and we could even do the size here. So top to bottom on the micrometer on this guy, and we'll just go from there. 68.4 millimeters. And over on this guy, going top to bottom, we got to raise this up a little bit here. Once someone's maxing out my micrometer here. It's 80.8 millimeters. So yeah, that's definitely taller, for sure. Oh, and then the other difference is the diameter. The diameters look to be about the same to my untrained eye. And then here's the bottoms. So both bottoms are open bottoms, and these are recessed bottoms. I like that a lot. Let's see here. Both of the bottoms, the recess seems to be about, actually, it seems to be a little bit larger, actually, on the C7000. So to get your finger in here is a little bit easier. And on the CS600, this is a little bit smaller diameter on the bottom. So I don't know why that was changed a little bit. In addition, both these machines have a stainless steel ring on the bottom of the auger, and I think that looks like the CS600 might protrude, the motor shaft might protrude a little bit more. That being said, one of the major improvements I'm seeing on the CS600 that's not on the C7000 is on the bottom of the auger. I don't know if you guys can see that here, but on the bottom of the auger, there's basically like looks like to me like a few grinding points that'll help kind of grind things up. There's like a few little teeth on the auger that's actually missing on the C7000 auger. So this is definitely an upgraded auger, a little bit bigger, you know, definitely a little bit heavier, a little bit more beefier, you know, to me. But for the most part, they're like the same. Alright, next let's go ahead and pull out the juicing screen and the wiping blade. And if we put these guys side by side, they look to be pretty much identical. So I mean, they're the same exact height. You know, on the inside they look to be about the same exact thing. If I compare them like this diameter, it's like the same. If I like stack these up one on top of the other, the same direction, all the, oh actually, you know what? The thing, it doesn't line up exactly right. So ones, although they look pretty similar, they're a tad bit different. So actually, let me make sure I didn't mix these guys up. Alright, this was on this side. So while they do look the same and appear to be mostly the same, you know, there are a few differences on the bottom of it that basically locks it into place. So they're pretty much the same, but a little bit different, so the parts are not interchangeable. Probably the only interchangeable part between these two guys, if I compare these up, are the wiping blades. They look to be pretty much identical. So yeah, the wiping blades are, you know, basically you could swap out, but all the other parts should not be swapped out. They are different sizes for sure. Now, probably the main difference between these two guys are the bowls here. So here's the bowl. This actually is marked up to 500 milliliters on the bowl, and this bowl is actually only marked up to 400 milliliters. So this bowl on the C7000 is definitely smaller. Looking at the inside of the bowls, you know, they pretty much look like the same to me. They both have the gearing on the bottom of the bowl that spins the little spinner that will spin your wiping blade. That's pretty much the same. Aside from just being a little bit larger, this one is kind of like more rate, maybe like more like a funnel, kind of like going in a little bit. This is kind of more straight up and down. I kind of like the looks of this guy. Oh, let's take a look at look at that, man. The feed chute, or the pulp port's different. So I really like that on the CS600 they've expanded the pulp port, so it's a lot more easier to basically get your finger in there to clean it out. One of the things I didn't like about the C7000, I can't really get my finger in there, so you should be using actually the back of that toothbrush looking tool to kind of get in there and clean it out. The other thing I'm noticing is that these guys both have the smart cap. The smart cap allows you to close it, and then you can actually do mixing inside the juicer. I personally don't like to do that. I've seen that the yield goes down a little bit when you do that because the pulp will come out a bit wetter because basically the pulp is swimming inside the juice as it's running. But I do like to close this after I'm done juicing to prevent you know, drops on the counter, and I do like to close this when I'm done juicing and add water into the machine to let the machine self-clean itself. Now another thing I'm seeing that's a little bit different, you know, here, and these are like really minor variations, they probably don't really make too much of a difference, is the little safety on the spout. So the safety on the the safety on the C7000 spout basically is kind of like a Y, so you can't like stick your finger in there and hit anything. And on this guy, it's basically transformed into a single like line. So I do like that. That's going to be a lot easier to clean. I have found that it's a little bit harder to get in to clean all the different spokes of this little safety gadget, and I like the improved one over here. But oh, and then both these machines, of course, have no silicone flap on the bottom, and so that's a little bit easier. I have seen that flap deteriorate and kind of tear and break and wear out actually over time, and also get moldy. So this does not have that, and that's on other different, most other vertical auger juicers actually. So yeah, pretty much I think those are the main differences. The output port, actually this is a little bit interesting. Let's take a look there. So it looks like pretty much, you know, where the pulp goes out, it's pretty similar. I mean, I would say maybe it's a little bit expanded and larger on the CS, so that may prevent, you know, cloggage and blockage a little bit. But the main blockage point would be the juicing screen, because it still has to go out this hole in the bottom of the juicing screen, which is pretty much the same. The juicing screens are the same, and I do want to point out a feature of the juicing screen before I move on, is that unlike other juicing screens on other vertical auger juicers, this juicing screen is completely closed on the bottom, and it has a gasket in here. You know, most juicing screens are open on the bottom, and then the gasket is actually inside the juicing bowl. Kuvings has no gasket inside the juicing bowl. Instead, they put the gasket where it counts actually inside the juicing screen, so that makes cleanup easier because all the excess, you know, pulp fragments will stay inside here. Also, because the gasket here, you're not going to get juice for the most part on the top of your motor body, which can happen on other machines, especially if they're starting to get in a backup situation. I haven't seen that happen yet with the Kuvings. While it could happen, in my opinion, it'd be highly unlikely, and especially very unlikely if you're using the machine properly. So yeah, I do like that a lot. So yeah, I guess the next thing, oh, the motor bases. Let's try to like move some of this stuff out of the way so you guys can see the motor bases a little bit easier here. We've got so many gadgets and parts. So here's the motor base on the C7000. If I lift this up, I did weigh a little bit earlier. I think it weighs out at about 11 pounds, so that's a pretty stout motor base. It's rated at 240 watts. Once again, it comes in the white, the silver, or the red. It has actually a button on the back for the on and off, and a reverse momentary contact, and it has basically one set of fins here to help keep the motor cool. Yeah, and yeah, 240 watts. And the shape too, the shape is of course different. I kind of like the shape of the CS600. It looks a lot more modern than this guy. Anyways, on the base of this guy, it's definitely been improved and upgraded, you know. One of the things I like is that it basically has like a drip trough, so should drips get in here, it's basically going to get funneled out the trough. This guy does not really have that kind of drip trough. Let's see, the other thing about this guy's heavier. So this guy is 15 pounds, and although this motor is only rated at 200 watts, going by simply the wattage of the motor is not to say, hey, a 240 watt, that's more wattage than this guy. Well, the thing is, the 200 watt may draw less wattage, but it may be actually a better and higher quality motor, and it's more efficient motor than the guy over there. So I could definitely say there's more motor windings in this guy. I mean, this guy's like 4 extra pounds over that guy. Once again, this guy's rated 30-minute duty cycle. This guy has a 24-hour duty cycle, which is totally insane. Also, this is a brushless induction motor, and we'll turn it on in a little bit so you guys can hear the differences. They have different sounds to them. So, you know, I mean, basically the motor in here is an industrial style motor meant for industrial uses that is actually made on site at Kuvings. And when I visited Kuvings many years ago, I saw them winding the different motors and all the copper wire that they were using. In addition, you know, this machine also has a on and off switch in the back. It's on, off, and momentary reverse. And unlike that guy that has one set of kind of cooling fins on it, this unit has basically 3 sets of different fins to help keep that motor cool. Something really important if you're using this machine for long periods of time. Both these machines have basically power cords that are of similar length, and here in the US it's the 3-prong. So yeah, that's pretty much the differences. Oh, and then of course this guy only comes in this brushed stainless steel, which I personally like. I like more than the white, silver, or red that this guy comes in. Next, let's go ahead and get into assembly of these machines. Both super simple, both super easy. They're both pretty much the same to assemble. So first, you're going to just take the juicing bowl that sets right on top there. Super simple, super easy. Next, what you guys are going to do is you guys are going to take the wiping blade and the juicing screen. And you take the juicing screen here, you take the wiping blade. The wiping blade basically just goes over the juicing screen. And then there's a little red dot on the top of the juicing screen. There's a little red dot on the top of the bowl. So you basically take the juicing screen, you line up the red dots, you set it in place, and it basically drops into place. Same thing on the C7000. Put this guy on top, line up the red dot with the red dot here. Basically drops into place. Super simple, super easy. Next part we have is the auger. Let's make sure the augers are going to the right machine, because this is like the baby, this is the daddy. Drop that guy in there, and sometimes you got to spin it to win it, and you spin it and it actually will drop down and seat in there. Same thing with this guy. And once you do that, then you can finally take the top, and on the top there's a little red dot. It says open and close. You're going to line up that red dot here with the red dot on the top. It drops down into place, and then you spin it to closed, and you're all set, ready to go. And same thing on this guy. There's a red dot. You're going to line that up with a red dot over here. It's basically going to drop down there for you. You're going to spin that to close. And if you've done it properly, then and only then will the machines turn on. So let's go ahead and turn the machines on so you guys could hear what they sound like when they're running. Alright, so here is the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer Elite Model C7000. So that kind of has like a nice higher pitched noise, pretty clean, sounds like really strong, a little bit louder. Let's go ahead and turn on the CS600 Whole Slow Juicer Chef. So this guy kind of has like a nice whirring sound, a little bit different sound. I think that's because of the induction brushless motor. That's a lot more durable. Maybe on some cases, maybe even a little bit louder, but man, the cool thing is I can really feel the air coming out of these air vents a little bit, and that's probably not going to affect the juice quality, but it will help keep the motor quiet. Now the other thing I want to say is that I don't want you guys to run these juicers empty. You should only be running the juicer empty just for literally a few seconds until you put the first produce items in, because once you start putting the produce items in, you know, the juice and the liquids and the fiber in there act as a kind of lubrication basically for the juicer. It'll help it quiet down once it's actually starting to work. But yeah, I mean, I think those are the main basics. We went over all the different parts, went over the weights, we went over what's included, the warranties, all this kind of stuff. Be sure to check the links down below to the website for both these guys to see the specific prices. Sometimes these machines have specific promotional periods, in which case you'll have to click that add to cart button to see the true price that we're currently selling the machines at. I think the last part of this episode is I want to do a juice off comparison and juice the exact same items in both machines to see if I could get one or the other to stop up. Also to see if there's going to be a yield difference. As you guys just saw, basically the screens are pretty much identical, the lighting blades are pretty much identical, the augers are very similar with basically an upgraded auger been changed just a little bit on the CS600. Of course the motor is stronger in this guy. They actually both run at 60 revolutions per minute, so will there be a difference in the yield? I don't know, but let's go ahead and get set up and find out. Alright, so now I'm all set up and ready to juice. We have over a kilo or 2.2 pounds of produce. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carrots on each side and 2 apples on each side. We're going to juice these in both these machines, strain out the juice to see how much pulp is created from each juicer, and check out the yields. But before we start, I want to give you guys a weigh-in to make sure we have a fair fight. Alright, let's go ahead and do a close-up on the scales there. Over on the first scale, looks like we have 1080 grams, and that's for the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer Chef. Over on the side of the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer Elite C7000, looks like we also have 1080 grams. So it looks like we have 1080 grams on both, so we have definitely a fair fight. Alright, so now that you guys know we have a fair fight, let's go ahead and move these scales out of the way and let's get ready to juice here. Now, one of the things I thought that would be interesting to do would be to actually time the amount of time it takes to juice this produce in each of the juicers. Now, the cool thing is that these are vertical slow juicers with a wide feed chute. So these juicers, of all the vertical feed chute juicers I've tested, will save you guys the most time. But the question is, which one will save you more time, right? With the 3-inch wide feed chute, can we just dunk the produce in there? Will it get juiced up? Or will the 3.5-inch feed chute save us some time because the apples are too big of a diameter? I don't know, but we will be finding out here. And so, I purposely picked some carrots that are actually large diameter. And in the video I made with the CS600, I said that if you have more than an inch in diameter, you should be cutting those carrots lengthwise in half to make juicing easier. Now, I'm not going to do that in this episode because I want to see what happens if you put something in that's wider. Will the juicer with its heavy-duty industrial style motor be able to handle it or not? Because I've always put in pretty fat diameters in the C7000. For the most part, it's handled most of them pretty good, but sometimes it'll stop. You'll have to hit the reverse button a little bit. So let's go ahead and get the stopwatch out here so we can time what we're doing. So I think first I'd like to juice in the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer Elite C7000, and let's see if you guys can see that pretty good. Let's go ahead and hit the start button and start going. So once again on the apples we put it in and it stops, so then you're gonna have to push it past that. So I like to use a carrot to push it in, or of course you can use the pusher. And always on these slow juicers, you want to let the machine auto feed as much as possible. Sometimes if there's a little bit of blockage or stuckage, you're going to have to help it along a little bit. But you want to wait for whatever you're juicing gets kind of worked in before you put in the next produce item. So now we're chunking off that carrot. We drop that in there. It's so large that I'm going to have to kind of help it in a little bit. Let it take off a couple of chunks, and then we're pulling it out. And then we're just going to go ahead and drop the rest in and watch that auto feed. So that's doing quite good. Let's go ahead and put another carrot in there. As you guys can see, it's working really well, not stopping even these wide diameter carrots that I got here. Let's put in another carrot here. Now I am seeing a little bit of pulp collecting at the top of this the body here, so sometimes you want to let that kind of work through before you add anything else. I think we're just going to go ahead and add the next carrot in. Oh, now we got to stop it, so we have to reverse it, and then we're just going to go ahead and go forward again. Crunches it all up. So generally I would say that it's probably the best idea if you have carrots fatter than 1 inch in diameter. Even though you have a wide feed chute, slice them in half. It's going to be a lot easier for you. we are getting a lot of excess pulp here at the top. So what I'm going to do is we're going to just go ahead and take a carrot and we're going to try to punch in, get some of that pulp that's kind of collecting at the top in the machine, because when there is pulp at the top of the machine and it's not going through the machine, that means you're going to actually get less yield. So I could only do so much with a carrot to kind of get pulp through. Next we're going to go ahead and rotate, as I've been doing. We're going to go ahead and put another apple in there and push that in with this carrot to get it past the safety switch there. And that's basically grinding up that apple, and it's helping actually to kind of grab some of that excess carrot pulp that's still stuck up here in the top of the machine. And as you guys can see, we still got a nice pulp flowing out and the juices flowing out. And that's the second to the last carrot going in. I do see, you know, there's like some considerable pulp kind of like stuck at the top of this machine. Let's go ahead and try to get that pulp pushed in. I mean, this would probably be a better balanced recipe if I had like a couple more apples to kind of like, you know, alternate with the carrots, or even some chopped up celery to put in. So that's still working pretty good, and let's just go ahead and dunk in that last carrot there. We're going to just go ahead and let that auto feed, and even if I use the pusher, right, you can't really access the pulp that's kind of stuck in here. It's just kind of stuck, and you basically lose some yield because some stuff gets stuck up in there. And I'm wondering if the CS600 will be any better than this, so I can't wait to see. So anyways, it looks like pretty much it's almost done juicing, but you always want to wait until you turn the machine off, until the pulp stops flowing out of the ejection port and the juice pretty much stops flowing there. This is still flowing. What are we at? We're at a total of 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I mean, I think we got some small drips. We're going to go ahead and call it and hit stop. So I'll say 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I do always like to tip the juicer up a little bit to get a last few drops. We're going to go ahead and turn that baby off. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get juicing in the CS600. Let's go ahead and hit the reset there. Move this out of the way there and get set up on this guy. And let's go ahead and turn this on and go. So first we're going to dump an apple. I really like how the apples go in. Super simple, super easy. It looks to me that the CS600 kind of grabs the apple a little bit more efficiently and kind of drags it in there a little bit better. Let's go for a carrot. A carrot goes through the back hole, just drop that in a hole. And that machine literally is taking that carrot and crunching it up, right? Hasn't stopped it. There's a lot less kind of pulp buildup at the top. It seems to suck it in just a little bit better than over on this side. Let's go ahead and take another pretty fat diameter carrot and dunk that in the back here. Oh, it's a little bit tough to fit in. And got that in there. These are fat diameter carrots, man. That guy, it stopped up a few times and we had to hit the reverse. This guy just powers right through it. That's actually rather impressive there. All right, let's go for that another carrot here. Drop that baby in. And once again, you know, up in the top of this housing, I'm not seeing nearly as much of the pulp as we are, you know, over in this housing. You guys will see that when I take it apart. Going for the next apple. Crushing this guy up like it's butter, literally, and sucking it right in. Oh wow, man, it's going around, it's spinning a little bit at the top, but really it's kind of ejecting it much better and getting it in there. All right, next carrot, let's see if it fits in this spout here, man. It's really tight. I almost have to, as I'm putting it in, it's kind of grating up a little bit. Oh, and I made it. It grated it up a little bit on the top. We'll put their shreds in. Once again, this is like a really fat diameter. Once again, no problems with the Kuvings full slow juicer chef. Grinding it right up, powering it right in. Last carrot, this guy's a little bit too big to even shove in there. I don't even know if that's going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and break this into pieces, and we're just going to dunk it in the little spout and let that grab it. And man, this guy didn't even stop once. Definitely has a much more powerful motor in my opinion. And now this guy should fit in here fairly good. Wow, it's still pretty thick diameter, so we're going to break off another piece, drop it in there. Once again, powers right through it, no problem whatsoever. And now we're going to go ahead and put that last piece in there, drop it in. What are we at on the time? 2 minutes and 39 seconds. So I think, what, that took 3 minutes and 30 seconds? This saved almost a half a minute so far. Powered right through it. There's very little pulp residue at the top here. Although this guy does look like it did make, you know, more pulp actually in the sieve here that we'll actually have to strain out. Once again, we're going to let this run a little bit longer until the pulp stops flowing, which it's almost there, not quite. We still got a nice drip here. We're at 3 minutes and 11 seconds. It's pretty much done now. We'll hit stop. So yeah, I mean, it saved us basically 15 seconds, maybe 30 seconds, kind of depends. This guy just powered through it. That one we had to actually stop, hit the reverse, which actually added up some time. So I think now we're going to go ahead and turn this baby off. And what we're going to do now is we're going to check out the juice that both these guys made. So first, we're going to close that spout cap over on the C7000. And over on this guy, as you guys can see, I mean, this has been sitting here a while, so all the juice has been drained down, and we caught, you know, a bunch of pulp here. And I always like to shake this pulp down a little bit. So now we just got a nice pulp patty. Now, you know, the Kuvings and most vertical slow juicers do tend to put a bit more pulp in the juice. That being said, the C7000 is their second generation whole slow juicer, which puts less pulp in the juice than their first generation, which is their B6000 machine. I do not recommend the B6000. The C7000 is a significant improvement over the previous generation. But yeah, there still is some pulp. And if you want to, this is a pretty fine pulp, because on my other sieve that I have, it lets the pulp through the sieve. But this is my fine sieve, so it keeps the pulp actually in the sieve there. So over on this guy, let's go ahead and close that guy. And on this guy, we're going to shake this guy down. And because this hasn't been sitting for as long, you know, there's a lot more kind of juice in the pulp. So we're going to shake this down just a little bit here. All right, I think we're pretty much shooken down. All right, pulp, give me all your money. I mean, all your juice. All right, so we shook these down pretty much to the max. And if you guys look at that, it looks fairly similar to me. After all, these screens are pretty much identical. Yeah, I mean, if I had to say one made a little bit more, maybe the CS600 made a little bit more pulp than the C7000, but they're pretty equivalent. Maybe, yeah, once again, this guy probably made a little bit more, not much. Next, one of the most important things is the yield. So let me go ahead and line these guys up, and we're going to go ahead and do a close-up on the yields for you guys. Let's go ahead and do a close-up on the juices to see which juicer made more yield, the CS600 or the C7000. So over on the CS600, if we're looking at the milliliter side, looks like we made about a little bit over 525 milliliters, a little bit over 2 1/4 cups of juice right over the line. And then if we scooch on over here to the C7000, man, check it out. It looks like it's right above the 525 mark and right above the 2 1/4 mark of juice. So, man, I mean, I swear, this is like the closest that I've ever had. I mean, it pretty much looks like a tie. I couldn't really say one way or another which juicer made more juice, because it's actually pretty similar. Alright, so as you guys just learned, both these machines made pretty much the same amount of juice. I mean, after all, they had the same they use the same exact screen, or fairly close screen. I think the way it lines up and locks in on the bottom is a little bit different. The augers are virtually identical, few improvements on the CS600. They run at the same RPM pretty much, although this machine has a lot more motor torque and motor power and durability for juicing for longer periods of time. This guy actually didn't stop, that guy stopped up, but they both made a similar yield. What I thought I'd do next is actually try the juice, but I highly doubt I'll be tasting any difference between these guys since they use the same RPM, pretty much the same juicing screen and the same extraction process. That's a really nice juice there. Carrot apple. This is the first time in a long time I've actually been able to use the Bunny Love carrots that I love so much that are organic. Sam's Club carries a Bunny Love. Costco, unfortunately, no longer carries a Bunny Love. They carry the Cal Organics carrots, which actually don't taste as good, although the Costco is a little bit less expensive than Sam's, but I'll be glad to pay a little bit more to get the Bunny Love carrots that I love so much. All right, tasting the juice out of the C7000. I mean, pretty much the same juice. I cannot taste a noticeable difference, all right? So the yields are the same. But last thing I like to do for you guys is actually check out in the juicer what you'll have to clean. Generally, both these machines are self-cleaning. So what I normally do is I pour water in here. On this one, it'd be like 400 milliliters of water. On this guy, it'd be 500 milliliters of water. Close the spout cap, let it run for 45 seconds. It'll kind of auto-clean, open the spout cap, get off all the dirty, juice-filled water, and then take apart the machine. It's going to be a lot easier to clean than the state it is in now. But I want you guys to see what it looks like if you don't do the auto-cleaning feature. First, we'll start with the C7000 here. So first, we're going to go ahead and unlock this guy. And if you look underneath here, you guys can see a bunch of the carrot pulp. You know, it's not super bad. You know, a lot of it ended up feeding in, but there's still a fair bit that actually didn't make it into the juicer. And let's go ahead and take off the CS600 over here. This unit to me just seems a lot more stable and solid, right? We'll lock this guy in place there. And look at that. So, you know, to me, there's like a lot less pulp in the CS600 than the C7000. So it looks like, you know, the Kuvings have definitely improved the design on this guy to help to get things in more efficiently. And that's probably due to the maybe improved auger design. Next, let's go ahead and pull out the augers on both machines. There's the auger on this guy, and here's the auger. Let me use two hands, get the auger out on this guy. So these are the two augers. I mean, fairly similar in the amount of pulp. I'd say maybe the CS600 has a little bit more pulp on it, but that's variable. And then in the bottom of the augers there's always going to be some pulp. And look, there looks to be a little bit more pulp on the or the C7000 side, sorry. And let's go ahead and take out the juicing screens here. Now the juicing screens, you know, once again, they are full of carrot pulp. This can be easier cleaned if you did, you know, do a wash through there. But yeah, both screens on the outside look to be fairly similar. There's, you know, carrot pulp clogged inside the screen holes that you'll then have to take the scraper, that's the back side of the oversized toothbrush, to scrape off. And inside both of the machines looks to be like a lot of carrot pulp that's stuck inside there. I mean, pretty much similar amounts. I couldn't say one's better or worse than the other. Of course, the automatic wiping blades, they're approximately the same. And then finally, let's take a look at the main juicing bowls here. So the main juicing bowls, maybe the CS600 has a few more splashes and things on the side that you have to clean. Doesn't look as much on the C7000, but pretty much, you know, these bowls are way cleaner than basically any other vertical single auger juicer out there, because most of the waste is actually held within the juicing screen. So these parts are both very simple and easy to clean. Yeah, so I mean, I pretty much think that's it. And so now I'm going to have to declare the winner of this juice off. I mean, man, you know what? I mean, my honest opinion is that each of these juicers have their own pros and cons, right? If you're price sensitive, if price is important to you and you're a home user, then you want to go with the home unit, of course, right? It's 1/3 the price, made pretty much the same yield. It, you know, had some problems. It stopped a few times. You know, you could only run it for 30 minutes at a time. On the other hand, the CS600, you know, it costs more money, but it has a much more durable motor. I couldn't get the motor to stop. I'm going to have to say this is probably the most powerful motor on any vertical slow juicer that I found. You know, it definitely was faster, so it saved a little bit of time. I was only juicing maybe a little bit over 2 pounds of produce, but if you're juicing larger volumes, larger quantities, it can save you more time. Plus, it comes with that extra top set if you're doing a different recipe, or you could switch it out after 20 minutes to ensure yourself you're not going to get any pulp jams or clogs. And if your screen kind of gets, you know, crudded up, you got a whole new top set to put on. That feature can be invaluable. Of course, this machine can run for 24 hours. The motor can run for 24 hours straight. This is a commercial grade machine. That being said, if you are a commercial establishment, you know, this would be the better machine to get. That being said, this machine is not NSF sanitation certified. So please check before you buy this commercial machine to make sure if your health department will require the NSF approval for you to use legally, you know, a commercial grade machine in your establishment. So that's very important. But yeah, I mean, I kind of liked how this one ran. It seemed a lot more durable. I mean, a lot more meaty, had a lot more torque. The motor is definitely more powerful. Otherwise, a lot of the things are the same. I do like actually the 3.5-inch wide feed chute with the smaller feed chute. It's a lot more convenient to feed larger fruits in, and even just using the trapdoor to feed in, you know, chopped up celery or chopped up kale like I've done in previous episodes that I'll put a link down below. You know, it worked really great too, and everything kind of fell in a little bit better, and I like that how it pulls stuff in a little bit better. And if you want the top of the line of the Kuvings brand, then you're going to want to go for this one, right? But that being said, in most cases, unless you got to have the best, you could save your money and get the you know, C7000 for home-based users. Of course, the commercial people should always be getting the CS600. I mean, of course, the warranty, I do like the longer warranty on the C7000. This guy has a shorter warranty, but I'm highly confident that it's, you know, solidly built. I don't think you're going to have any problems with it. But nonetheless, you know, if a part breaks, right, it could be covered under warranty for the next 10 years on the C7000. So, I mean, I pretty much am going to say this. I personally like the CS600 better than the C7000, but for most of you guys that are home users, you're going to want to go with the C7000. And I'm going to have to declare the winner, the C7000, just because it's a lower price point. The augers are pretty much identical. The screens are pretty much identical. The wiping blades are identical. The yields were identical. I mean, unless you're juicing like large volumes and have a big family and you don't want to just hassle with stopping after 30 minutes because you want to juice 4 gallons straight, you could definitely do it in this machine, and you're not going to be making, you know, more than maybe a gallon or so in a half hour's time in this guy over here. So once again, each juicer have their pros and cons, and that's the reason why I make all these videos for you guys, to show you guys the pros and cons and explain them so you guys could choose the best and very best juicer for you guys, because literally nobody else out there does what I do, comparing these guys side by side so you guys can learn the differences, because it is so important for me that you guys have truthful and accurate information so you can make an informed purchase instead of just having like the juicer salesperson guy say, hey, buy this one, it's the best, right? I'll be the first to say that every juicer has their pros and cons. There's things I like in juicers, you know, there's things I don't like in juicers, and I have my own preferences, but I try to tell you guys pretty much like it is. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of this episode. Once again, if you guys enjoyed this episode, please support me in my work by making your purchase at discountjuicers.com. If you want to make more videos in the future with the CS600, comparing it to other machines, please leave a few comments down below. Let me know what machines you want me to compare it to. I think the next one I'm going to compare it to is the Green Star Pro, which is Tribest's twin gear commercial grade machine, but that only has a 30-minute duty cycle compared to the 24 hours on this. Also, be sure to thumbs this video up. Let me know that I'm doing some good work. You know, that'll give me some nice feedback and maybe keep me going making these comparison videos for you guys. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss out on any of my new and upcoming episodes I've coming out every 5 to 7 days. You never know where I'll show up or what juicers or vacuum blenders or dehydrators I'll be comparing. I always show you guys appliances that allow you to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables, because simply those are the best foods on the entire planet. Also, be sure to check my past episodes. My past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 400 episodes on this YouTube channel at this time, comparing and contrasting different juicers, vacuum blenders, blenders, and dehydrators, so you guys can get the right appliance for you. So with that, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.